highlighting what the state does or doesn't do from time to time. They may be a little bit late on their legislative procedures. Certainly, our council meeting occurred on October 1st and not on September 30th. I don't believe that would prevent us from going forward with this motion. So my ruling is that this is a correct procedure or motion that has been made, and we can proceed. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brandana?
No.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Rose?
No.
Ms. Daniels?
No.
Ms. Winton?
Yes.
Mr. Geis?
Yes. Motion fails 3-3. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, item 6.2 is a motion to approve the appointment of Ben Clayton to the Compensation Commission and to the Local Officers Pension and Fringe Benefits Commission for a 7-year term to expire on October 1st, 2031.
Motion.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Witten, supported by Councilman Johnson. Is there any discussion?
Chairman.
Councilwoman.
So Corporation Council, do you see, based on the last motion, since this is the same, is there any, I know the chairman already ruled, but do you see any problem with this? Because then my next question is going to be, what's the solution? We just wait a whole year? And that these individuals that hold these positions have to wait because of a, I don't want to say technicality, but what is the solution? And if we got an agenda last week, this could have been something that would have been brought forward that had we needed to have a special meeting, we could have.
Absolutely.
Instead of waiting until like a gotcha moment.
Mr. Chairman, you know, this is just another example of obstructionism, if that's even a word. Because if I felt that we needed to have a special meeting for this, I would have called for one. It's October 1st. We're not, you know, this is purely a case of, you know, let's be difficult to be difficult. If you don't want the person, then vote no for the person. But to try to use the date of October 1st to vote no is absolutely embarrassing in my opinion.
Chairman,
Councilwoman.
so these regulations for the state and our city charter have all been brought forward. So everyone on this council, including the mayor, has been well aware of what the guidelines are since it was brought up at the beginning of the year and discussed multiple times at multiple different meetings.
When was
So
that?
to say that this is a surprise moment,
When was those meetings
when we
discussed
passed the
this?
compensation commission raises for the mayor and the city clerk and the council, this was all discussed at the beginning of the year multiple times. So you guys were well aware of the deadline.
Any further discussion?
Chairman,
Councilwoman.
I had a question to Corporation Council. So do you know if it says on or before? Could it, you know how sometimes they use that language, or is it before?
With all due respect, this is the type of matter that should be brought up before the meeting, who can be looked at, and a proper opinion given. I'm not going to give an opinion on the spot. My position is we need to appoint members of the Compensation Commission. That has to be done. We can't wait another year to do it, so it needs to be done tonight.
Mr. Chairman, also, this has nothing to do, the Compensation Commission doesn't meet this year. The fringe benefits meets this year. And so, at the end of the day, this is basically for them to meet on this next year would be the Compensation Commission. So if you're worried about raises and all that stuff, it has nothing to do with this year. It's specifically fringe benefits, and I get absolutely none. So if that's your concern, there is none.
Chairman,
Councilwoman.
the wording and everything was discussed multiple times, and Corporation Council did review it at the beginning of this year. So I'm kind of surprised that he's unable to speak on that. But if you want to know the specific wording, it says members shall be appointed before October 1st of the year of their appointment.
Chairman,
So they, under that guidance, they can be appointed. If these fail, they can be appointed on January 1st, 2025. Would be our next bite of the apple. Councilwoman.
okay. So how many do we have on there right now, Mayor?
Through the chair, I think this will leave one.
Say again?
I think this will leave one.
Okay, so,
There will be a quorum, so, you know.
is there, an amount, is it, what you're reading, does that have a limit of how many there's supposed to be on the board?
There
A minimum?
would need to be a quorum, so they would, their mission would be accomplished, or a mission would be accomplished.
There's supposed to be 7 members, I believe.
No minimum amount though, right? Just a quorum?
There needs to be at least 4, I think, to have a quorum.
Yeah, it says the local officers' compensation commission shall consist of 7 members who are registered electors of the city of Taylor and shall be appointed, or it just says the city, and shall be appointed by the mayor with, subject to confirmation by a majority of the members elected and serving on city council. Any member or employee of the legislative, judicial, or executive branch of the city or members of the immediate family of such member or employee shall be ineligible to be a member of the commission.
The other pathway forward is if we don't have a functioning compensation or fringe benefit committee, is to abolish it and bring those roles and responsibilities back before the city council. The idea is that, at least when that body was created, was to have an arm's length transaction, have others, other than the elected officials, review the benefits of other surrounding communities and review what should be brought forward. But if we don't have a functioning board, then another solution, and I guess we're not there yet, we haven't voted on all of them. One solution would be to abolish it in its entirety. Is there any further discussion?
Chairman?
Councilwoman?
Okay, so before us is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up. So are there 2 members that are not expiring? Are they
I
staggered?
believe everybody on here is expired, correct? Yeah, December.
So do we usually do it where it's staggered so they're not all in the same year, or no, is this not one of
It's a
those?
7, I think in this one, it's a 7-year, and I think they all expire at the same time.
So,
Most of these are reappointments. I mean, these 2 are not, but I think the majority are.
so there's none others than are what's listed here in our agenda today?
That's correct.
Okay, so you need 4. I don't know about council's pleasure about abolishing it. Doesn't sound good.
I'm not, yeah, I wasn't saying yay or nay, I'm just,
Okay.
I'm
No,
given, a hypothetical.
Chairman,
Council?
I guess I would add to that, if there is no other alternative, if we can't get a commission appointed, then what happens? Again, these people that are affected by this, they just lose out because we're on October 1st instead of again, and yes, it says that, and I think there's no dispute on that, but bringing it forward instead of waiting, I don't know why we constantly get these gotcha moments at a meeting.
Mr.
Instead
Chair.
of we're doing business of the city. This isn't a proven a point, this is doing the business of the city. Any one of us that knew this should bring it forward if we're like, hey, there's a problem with this, and bring it forward
Chairman.
before the meeting.
And Councilwoman, I would like
Mr. Mayor.
this is my fault. I want everybody to know this is my fault. This is my fault. You're right. But how is this helping the community? How is this helping the community move forward? I missed it by a day. This is my fault, everyone. Tim Woolley is taking 100% responsibility. But how is this helping the community? I'm a day late. Tell me how it's helping the community,
Chairman.
Councilwoman Daniels.
We discussed this at length at the beginning of this year. I mean,
I don't remember discussing the
well, maybe you need
compensation
to go back and
community
watch the meetings
appointment
from the
date.
beginning.
Hold on. You've made that point. Is there a new point? Right? You have made the point that we missed the deadline by approximately 18 hours. The mayor has
Which is my fault.
accepted, which the mayor has accepted. What new business do you have on this subject?
So Chairman, to keep saying that we didn't discuss it and it's a surprise aha moment, we discussed it at length at multiple council meetings at the beginning of this year. So there should be no surprise now that it's coming back that the same rules apply.
Through the chair, we never discussed
We did.
the appointment date
We did.
of new, I'm gonna have to
I
go
would
back
say
and
go
look at
back
the
and
tapes.
watch when we
I will.
passed the compensation
Because
commission.
I never remember that at all.
Determinations, I would say go back and watch those meetings because we did. It was January or February of this year and we talked at length about it.
We
No, no.
talked about some.
Hold on, folks. I don't think, quite frankly,
You're
we have addressed October 1st, we've addressed the culpability of